It's all about passion, it's all about change. It's all inclusive every day of the week. When the world comes together, united as one, sharing stories through the eyes of InViewTV.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to What Matters. I am Jojo, and I am riding solo tonight. My beautiful wife isn't joining me. She thought she'd throw me in the deep end and see how I go on my own. But look, just letting you know, we are streaming live from InViewTV Facebook page, the What Matters Facebook page, and OVO Play. Also, if you want to jump in tonight's conversation, if you've got any questions for our guests, head over to the What Matters page and find the live there, because that's where we'll be able to share those comments. And so we'll if we've got time, because we all know I love to talk, and our guest tonight is so amazing, so I'm sure we'll have heaps to talk about. So yeah, if you've got any questions for her, we've got Amanda Mccallive coming up. So if you know Amanda, and if you don't know Amanda, you should know Amanda by now. She was probably, my favorite contestant, and I don't know if I should have a favorite, but I just said it, on Maths Married at First Sight. And, we've become pretty good friends, I'd like to say, since her journey on Maths. And so I really wanted to bring her on because, I'm someone who's followed her journey. She recently did experience some kind of bullying, which in my eyes, bullying is never okay. And so I really wanted to bring her on. I wanted to address that. But I also wanted to dive deeper into who Amanda Mccallive is, minus the reality TV, who she was beforehand, and what is she, what she's working on at the moment. So, but look, I guess before I bring my guest on, I want to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land and where we are gathering, and pay respect to the elders past, present, and emerging of all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander nations. So I guess, with that, we have streamed live. We're a little bit late today. We're running on Jojo time. So sorry, I'm always, fashionably late. But we are here, and we do have Amanda backstage. So without further ado, I really want to bring Amanda on because I know we've got a lot to talk about. So shall we bring on Amanda? Let's do it.
Hi guys, I know a lot of you have probably noticed that I've been a little bit MIA in the last week, and half because of the public uproar from the GoFundMe page that I created. If I had really preempted that it would have caused this much controversy, I definitely would have given it more thought at the time than I did. But I created it out of desperation because, like most people, especially in Victoria, these have been some really hard times, and I'm sure that a lot of people can relate to being a little bit more emotionally amped during this pandemic with restrictions, loss of income, and so on. So I would like to start by apologising to anyone that understandably misunderstood my public outreach for financial support. I didn't provide a proper explanation as to why I needed financial support in the first place, and I do believe that you all deserve a better explanation. So some of the comments that were made by people included that I should have reached into my super fund. And just so you know, I've actually taken and exhausted from my super fund, and what I've taken out has actually helped me survive throughout these 6 months of lockdown that we have had here in Victoria. One of the next points was regarding to seek family support and the truth about my family support. So a lot of you may have seen that I had some family members which attended my maths wedding. Well, since then, without getting into details, an incident occurred within my immediate family to which I'm no longer talking to my immediate family. And whilst it is quite hurtful, this is the reason why I haven't turned to family for support. Thankfully, I'm not on the street. A good friend of mine reached out because of this situation and offered me a place to stay. And although I'm very grateful, I'm currently living out of boxes, and this is what has led me to poorly use the word homeless. In the video I had made initially trying to explain what I was experiencing. And that was my way of expressing that this is the first time in my life where I've not been able to support myself effectively. I did not use the word to trigger or offend anyone. I apologise for those who were offended by this, but as I mentioned, it was a poor choice of words, and that video was very emotionally driven due to the non-stop bullying I had received. I hope that this has created some clarity as to why I reached out, and this has given you all a gist of what I personally have been through. One thing that this situation has been made more apparent in this country is there is still a very real and prominent bullying issue. What I received was quite unbearable, as it didn't just involve slander. I've also received all sorts of nasty threats, including death threats. Overall, I was really shocked by how many mothers and parents took the time to bully me. With bullying getting worse in schools, I personally feel that parents are their children's first guides. So if you are bullying people at your age, I hope you understand that you are teaching your kids that bullying is okay. The bullying I received could have ended pretty badly for me. If I didn't have the support network I am so very blessed to have, as well as the knowledge and understanding of how personal growth works.
Oh, Amanda, welcome to What Matters. Thank you for being here.
Jojo, thanks for having me, darling. Good to see you.
Oh, it's always a pleasure, babe. It's always a pleasure. And watching that video back just literally broke my heart because, you know, I know since your appearance on Maths, we've connected. I followed your journey. Your fitness videos inspire me. Yet I'm not motivated to go to the gym yet, but that's my own fault. That's got nothing to do with you. And I really wanted to bring you on to talk about that because that was brutal for Jess and I to see. So, you know, I just want to know, tell us a little bit about that. And I know you gave it in the video of how it all sort of started, but just roll us through that because you know, for me, bullying is not okay. And I think it's really important that we address it and we hear from you firsthand on how that has affected you and your mental health.
Look, I'd hate to see what would have happened to somebody who wasn't in a really good mental place to begin with. I can understand how people within the public eye would suddenly take their life if they felt less than. Thankfully, I do have a strong network and thankfully I do know my self-worth, that I had to remind myself that these people don't know me or my situation or what I've had to endure over the last 12 to 18 months before the show, during the show and since the show. So a lot of things have happened and I mean, I can remember when I was sort of following a reality star's journey post-show and how easy it is to judge someone you don't know when you're not feeling good within yourself. And I think it's very fair to say that a lot of people since COVID have, I think it's brought out the worst in a lot of people because too many people have too much time on their hands right now to I guess, project outwardly and look at, you know, they're looking for someone to blame or to someone to hate on. And, you know, I think people got really, I guess envious is probably a right word to use to go, well, we don't have the following that you do. However, we're in a far worse position than what you are. How dare you ask for money? Look at you in all your clothing, all your Versace, all your jewelry, blah, 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 blah. But there's so much about that they don't understand. You know, there's a lot of clothes I was given for free. There's a lot of businesses I was promoting for no money in exchange for goods or services. It was kind of a contradiction between business to business. You know, I've got a following, you give me some free stuff and I promote you, and that's generally how it works. So whilst I'm bathed in all of this gold and all of these nice clothes, you know, a lot of that came for nothing. It's not that I was cashed up to begin with and I, you know, like it was a true reflection of my financial standing. And that was the misinterpretation online. And that's where it can get dangerous online because we follow these idols and we think that they're doing far better off than what they are. And then we put these expectations on ourselves as to, you know, oh, I wish I was as good as her or him, you know, and why is my life not as good? But what people need to understand is that it's very easy for us to falsify what's really happening. And so I created that video.
And I think with social media, with majority of influencers, you know, unless you're being real, you know, a lot of times we will, you know, create this facade that life is amazing. And you got to this point where you're extremely, extremely vulnerable, where, you know, you obviously put a request out. But what led up to that? Because obviously you're in Melbourne and you've got COVID. You guys have been in the strictest lockdowns, and being in the health and fitness industry, I can only imagine how much that has affected your business. So I guess even, you know, I'm going to assume that that's had a lot to do with where you're at right now.
Yeah, so my business took a massive hit in March in the first lockdown, and then gyms all shut down. In the last sort of 6 months, there was a 2-week period where gyms reopened, and then we went into lockdown yet again, and that's how it's been for the last 6 months. So my business has had to survive strictly online, and personal training at the best of times it can be inconsistent. You know, you'll have some good months, you'll have some not so good months, generally through the winter stages where people tend to hibernate, and then it kind of picks up again throughout September. So whilst personal training does have a trend throughout the months, you know, COVID just, it kind of forced me to really reinvent the whole business. And I'm sure that's where a lot of personal trainers are in the same boat, where they're like, okay, I've got to think outside the box now, because this is real, this is happening. I could be unemployed for a very long time. And like, I mean, I'm a very passionate coach. I didn't want to have to go and necessarily work in another career all of a sudden because I was forced into a lockdown for not being sick. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's why I was like, all right, well, I'm going to try and revive my business throughout this period. And then when, you know, we go back to some form of normality, the business can get back to where it was, if not even better. So I mean, obviously that took a hit. And then my landlord in the house I was living in at the start of the year, they sort of weren't really willing to negotiate down, even though I lost the majority of my income. And then in that kind of month period, I was waiting for Centrelink to get approved. And then a friend of mine, well, my best friend at the time, offered me to go and live in her property that already had a tenant in there. And it was like a 5-bedroom property, and it, you know, it was kind of like a gentleman's agreement. There was no tenancy in place. You know, it all sounded good on paper, and it was good at the start, but then, you know, there were some issues which occurred between my housemate and the landlord. And, you know, and then the landlord was targeting me because it was like, in his eyes, the tenant spoke up to him for the first time in 4 years that he had been there, and then suddenly I was this target. So I found myself in a position where, even though I was paying my rent on time, the house was cleaner than it ever was before. We were paying rent to have the landlord's stuff stored in our garage, for example, and I just simply asked, look, can you just get him, your partner, to let us know when he's going to come in and out of the garage type thing. Whereas the other tenant didn't care and let him come and go from the house as he pleased. Now, I've never known anyone to be in that sort of setup before, so that was kind of like a bit of a shock for me, because I'd always lived on my own for the last 7 years, and here I was in this position that I didn't really want to be, but I thought, okay, I'll give it 12 months, I'll save my tailbone off and hopefully buy a house in the next 12 months and be in a better situation financially. And things just kind of progressively went from bad to worse. So they didn't need to get to the position they needed to, but it got to the point where the landlord, so my best friend's partner, became abusive towards me, because suddenly I started to question the way things were being run. So because I didn't like my landlord coming and going from my house that I was paying for, that was an issue. So therefore, yeah. So that
Wow.
it kind of, so that, yeah.
I just want to stop you for a moment because I've got people that are commenting on the InViewTV Facebook page. But if you can head over to the whatmatters.inviewtv and find the live there, guys, because I know Amanda really wants to answer your questions. I've dropped the link in the comments. But yeah, if you can, because I'd love to go to Q&A and would love to be able to show your comments. So yeah, okay. But yeah, Amanda, that is heartbreaking.
Yeah, so I mean, I was basically a target for a narcissistic landlord who was part of the bullying which went on Facebook. So there was a page called Bunnings Karen on Facebook who made an absolute mockery out of my GoFundMe page. And then he took it upon himself to basically slander me all over Facebook, made out like he kicked me out of the house, which wasn't true. I had to leave because I was abused on 3 separate occasions. I've never been in that situation in my life, and it was only because it was my best friend's partner that I didn't knock him into the next park, right? So for those who don't know me...
And to your bad side, I've seen your biceps, babe, you know.
You know, like, don't be fooled by the black lace, the red lipstick and the nice hair. I'm a boxer. You know, I've always been a fighter in terms of in heart, in spirit. You know, I'm a bit of a mobster in that sense. So it took every ounce of me to not want to destroy him in that sense, because I thought I've done everything right as a tenant. So the only thing that really makes sense here is that you feel I've disrupted your little operation, and that's why you're getting angry and you're slandering me all over Facebook when you shouldn't have. And again, to not have to retaliate to his comments online, it took every ounce of me. And what people didn't see is they didn't see the breakdowns, right, that I was going through offline, and I had to take a 10-day hiatus away from social media because I was getting hammered day and night for about 5-6 days straight. And I got to a point where I'm like, all right, just chill. These people don't know you. Do not let this get to you, because this is going to break you right now. Yeah. So,
and especially if you're already vulnerable, the last thing you need, you know, is that the comments and the slandering and even just to be able to do a GoFundMe page to actually say, guys, you know what? I am struggling. I'm really, really struggling. You know, my finances are up to shit and whatever. It takes so much. And you know, even when I just saw your video and I saw your, you know, your the GoFundMe page, I didn't even think twice. I just thought, if you are asking, I don't need to ask you what's going on. You know what? You need help. You need some kind of support. And I think, and that's what it comes down to in the end. Like, if you can support, do it. If you can't, it's okay. But to go to that extreme to bully you, that was not okay. And that just straight out really peed me off. It's just, guys, if you don't have anything nice to say, then don't say anything, especially when someone is going through something. That support of just being like, you know what, I can't support you financially right now, but I hope you're okay. I hope you're okay.
It's just, I think what people need to recognise through this time is that people need to find compassion right now, is that we are all struggling. It took every part of me to ask for help. I don't ask for help because when I have asked for help, I've always been shut down by an unsupportive family, right, who I no longer speak to. So that's why for me to ask for help, you know, that was a hit for my ego and my pride, you know, and I thought, I'm in a position where I have to ask for help now. I don't want to do this. And I didn't even tell the full story because I thought, I'll just glaze it over because I can, because it's Instagram. But it bit me in the ass pretty hard, right? But, you know, no, I shouldn't have had to have explained myself. And that was the other thing, is like, but you know, in our position, we kind of do. It's like we owe everyone everything, every truth, oh, well, you're in this privileged position. You know, what gives you the right to even ask for anything at all when you're getting all this free stuff for all this money? I think everyone thought I became a millionaire after the show. Are you kidding me? If anything, I lost my job after the show, and I was broke after the show. And that was, and I'm talking about coming out of filming, which was a year ago. So the gym I was at the time, you know, they wanted to basically change all my conditions. I lost my job. I then had to work for free for a month to prove myself to this brand new gym that was opening. So people don't know how hard I've worked. I'm now technically homeless. I'm living with my best friend, but this ain't my home. At the end of the day, at any point, things could go sour here and I'm out on the street. Not that that would ever happen, right? Not that that would ever happen, but I'm just saying my housing situation is so unstable right now. I've never found myself in this position, and each day I count my blessings, and I'm trying to, you know, think of the next 10 steps in the next year and where I'm going from here. But it took me to get to this low point to finally take a leap of faith and go, I'm going to rebuild my life on the Gold Coast, by the water, in the sun, and for everyone that bullied me and made me feel less than, I'm going to show you what an amazing life I'm going to build from here. So it's no thanks and thanks to your bullying that I will build the life that I want from here.
And I think that's a testament to you, Amanda, because I know you're strong in the mind, and thank God you have a strong mindset. But I think it's this behaviour that pushes you to do more, to be more, and to really show that survivor side of you. And so in saying that, so you are going to be moving up to the Gold Coast. You know, how's that all going? I mean, even trying to find a place remotely, you know, you're obviously in Melbourne, and trying to find something on the Gold Coast. Like, have there been struggles there with trying to find a place?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, look, I think most agents want you to be there to see the property, but it's like, hey, newsflash, half of Melbourne are trying to move to the Gold Coast right now. So I'm very fortunate that I've got a friend up on the Gold Coast who's doing inspections on my behalf, and he's FaceTiming me. So, you know, I'm applying at my own discretion, and I'm going by his word, because, you know, he's a man of, I would call it some affluence up there, and he, you know, he wouldn't say, hey, go for it if he didn't think it was a decent property. So this is the thing, like, yeah, I think I've applied for 3 so far. I've been knocked back by all 3. But, you know, again, it's the universe's way of trying to find me the right location, the right space for myself and Smokey, my little cat, you know, somewhere that's obviously going to be close to the water. So I've put my feelers out to the universe of what I want, and it's just a case of it all lining up how it needs to line up, and hopefully, you know, it happens when it needs to happen. There's no rushing the perfect solution, I guess.
And I think that's it. It's always in divine timing. You know, I know you do a lot of work in the mindset space, and so I think that's something we could really take. You know, I guess no matter what we go through in life, I think we've got to always be grateful. Which you said that I think gratitude is the best attitude, and to always focus on what you want rather than things you don't want. And look, you know, if you ever need a place to stay, I'm in Busy Babe. You know, we're a short drive to the Gold Coast. We're trying to find a place for you on the Gold Coast as well. But I just want to make sure now, like how are you going now? I guess I know it's been nearly a year since you know, you finished filming Maps as well.
Sorry, Jojo, can I just put my jacket on? I'm freezing. Let me just put my jacket on.
Yeah, go for it. I'm in so cold. It's warm up here, darling, but you know, I've got long sleeves, so it doesn't really show the weather up here. I had to bring my my fur out because it's really cold tonight, and I'm in the salon, so it's freezing in here. It's my mom wife jacket. That's it. That's it. I just need my gold chain, and I'm set. That's it. So how I'm feeling, I'm really good. I'm actually really, really good. I'm in a really good space. It's been a lot of weeks. It's been, I don't know, I think it's been over a month now since all that debacle happened. And since then, I've just been meditating more. I've been using pure oils to cleanse the air that I'm sleeping in and help me sleep at night, and putting my focus towards things that matter, trying to release the negative energy and all the things
that happened. You know, I was heartbroken. I lost two of my best friends. I had one of my best friends. So both of the girls that were in my MAPS wedding, I now no longer speak to because of this whole incident that happened. So, you know, my main bridesmaid was the landlord, and then my other bridesmaid only heard her side of the story, and it's only because of me that they're now friends and took her side of the story without even hearing my side of the story. So in some strange way, I guess that was the universe going, well, this incident had to happen for you to realise who actually had your back.
Yeah.
Right? And that was a really hard pill to swallow at first. And I was like, okay, well, they obviously served their time. They were around for when they needed to be around. But they obviously, you know, look, I think most friendships have an expiry date to some degree. You know, people come and go, they serve a purpose in your time. You know, it's just sad when it happens because you think they're going to be around forever, you know. And when I have a friend, I really love people, you know. So when someone breaks my heart or betrays and you don't see it coming, you're like, why has this happened? But yeah, it's just having the ability to accept things as they are, not as you want them to be. And then it just having that detachment. So the Buddhists have this detachment philosophy, in that if you can learn to detach yourself from people, places and things, you can learn to get over things a lot easier and to just move on in life. And that's where I've really taught myself to bounce back and be resilient, is that, yeah, I might be down for a month or two, but I can bounce back very quickly from situations.
And I think that's what's really, really important, babe, is that being up to bounce back. And we've got some beautiful comments. We've got Naz saying, you know, everything happens for a reason, you know, and you know your limits. And I think that's so true. Like when things happen and it really pushes you. And I think, as you say, people come into your life for a reason or a season. And sometimes, you know, we don't know for how many seasons and what the reason was for. You know, Naz also just focus on the here and now, my lovely. The universe will provide when you're ready.
Absolutely.
And that is
definitely.
so true. That is so true. And so what else are you doing? I mean, I've been following you, and I know you've been talking a lot about this Kiani business. And I know it's a business that you started, which sounds amazing. Like, I guess for anyone who's looking to pick up some kind of side business to maybe potentially work from home, and pick up a side income, which I'm all for. You know, I've got some businesses myself. So, you know, I want to know more about it as well, because anything in the health and fitness or the health business is something that really interests me too, and I'm sure would interest your followers. So please tell us more.
Yeah, so Kiani was originally founded in America about 10 years ago, and I caught wind of the product some years ago, but I was with another MLM company about 6 or so years ago. Anyway, fast forward to the start of this year, I had one of my close friends reach out to me and said, look, he's actually in the photography business. He came up and he framed some paintings I hadn't framed for 10 years. They were airbrushed paintings. Anyway, he said, look, I'll put these on your wall for free. I'll frame them for free. Just do me a favor. Take a look at this product. It's been amazing for me. And I thought, oh, here we go, right? He's going to try and sell me something. And I thought, okay, tell me more about it. And he goes, look, it's given me way more energy. He goes, my sexual function has gone through the roof. He goes, my sleeps are amazing. My skin's been amazing. I feel amazing. And he left me all these fact sheets. I didn't read them for, 2 weeks. I was sitting on my coffee table, didn't touch them. And he goes, what do you think? And I said, oh, look, I don't know, Anthony. I haven't even bothered to look at it, if I'm honest, right? And, you know, that was right in the thick of the show, and everything was, too much was happening. I was getting pulled a million directions. Phone was always blowing up. Anyway, he gave me a month's supply of the product. I tried it. And I was on some other vitamins and supplements at the time. So as I finished all of those, I started to feel the benefit of the actual product, right, as a standalone. And I thought, this is fantastic. So my sleeps are better. My energy is consistent. So it's, 8:45 here in Melbourne. I haven't yawned yet, and this is normal for me now. So normally by 4:00, I'm starting to yawn, even though I've been training and eating well for a number of years now. sometimes, you know, the nutrition within our food can be missing from the soil that it's grown from and what have you. So no matter the fact that you are quite healthy, you can still get energy crashes. And so what Kyani does is it basically fills the nutritional gaps in our diet and helps our body to work very optimally. So it helps increase the nitric oxide through our system. Now, just a quick fact, 5 seconds without nitric oxide, we actually die. So it boosts nitric oxide production, and it helps to carry nutrients through the bloodstream. We've got a product which has 22 superfoods, so 22 of the most super potent berries in the world. And so that's what gives us a lot of our antioxidants and nutrients. And then we've got our vitamin E, our omega-3 formulation, which is taken in the evening, and that has some other key vitamins as well. And that has just given me some restful sleeps. So overall, it's been fantastic. They have some other product ranges. We've got a new meal replacement, which has just been released. So that was released last week. We've also got things for post-workouts, so like a whey protein. We've got a collagen supplement, skincare. So we don't have too much, but we've got enough to kind of look at, you know, your internal health from all angles. So whether you're training or not training, you know, you're just wanting more energy, if you're wanting a bit of fat loss, there's kind of a product for everything. So I tried the product, fell in love with the product, and then I said, right, show me the business, because I'm a businesswoman. I've always been a businesswoman. Even from high school, I would wag school. I would go and sell, you know, denim cuffs and one-off T-shirts. So all I've ever known from a young age is how to survive and to make things happen for yourself in life. And what I like about this kind of business is that there's uncapped earning potential. And so if I don't earn a particular week, that's my fault, not anyone else's. And that's why I like running business, because the more you put in, the more you get out.
And I think that's the way in any business. It's like you'll get out of it what you put into it. So let me get this right. So they're meal supplements. Are they vitamins? Obviously to so meal supplements and vitamins. Is that what it is?
So what we've got. So the main triangle of health. There's 3 different liquid soluble supplements essentially that you take. So there's Sunrise, which is a liquid sachet that you take in the morning, and that has the 22 superfoods. There's also the Nitro Extreme, which are liquid drops. So it's just a little glass jar with a drop dispenser, and you take your drops 3 times a day. And then there's the omega-3 liquid capsules. So liquid capsules are always more likely to absorb into the body quicker because of the liquid. And they're more gentle on the stomach as well. So anything that is liquid form is always going to be better on the stomach than, say, like a hard capsule. So that's the main foundation of the actual business. And then, like I said, there's a meal replacement, there's a post-workout protein shake, there's a collagen product, and there's also skincare as well.
Sounds amazing. You nearly have me convinced. And so I guess, you know, any of the people coming on would obviously probably get to work with you, maybe even potentially be mentored by you as well. So I guess if you've got anyone interested, what is the best way? What is this? Vanessa saying comes from what you put. I can't read it properly.
I think it said success comes from what you put into something, is what I read.
Is that what you read? Sorry, my it looked like Chinese. I was trying to grab it on my phone. And that is absolutely true. So I guess it's always success will come from what you put in. But I guess, you know, for anyone that wants to be involved or just to connect with you, Amanda, tell our viewers, I guess, how they can get involved or how they can connect. Where can they find you? Are you mainly on Instagram these days? Have you cut back from Facebook? Because I be honest, I have recently. I found every time I'm on the socials, it actually really frustrates me and it lowers my vibration, and my vibration is really important. So
yeah, look, I'm available on LinkedIn, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. So I'm on all platforms. Now you can literally just type in Amanda Micallef and you'll find me. But on Instagram, I am amanda.m.for.mary.micallef. The link to my coaching page is in my main page, so that's at Divine Physiques Coaching. So if you're interested in personal training, online coaching, or nutrition questions at all, please shoot me a DM because I'm always answering all my DMs anyway. On TikTok, I am at Amanda Micallef and I'm doing daily training tips there. Facebook, I mean, look, I don't really post a lot there. A lot of things get shared onto my page, but I'm not a huge fan of Facebook anymore. LinkedIn, yeah, look, I mean, if you want to connect on a professional level, I've got my professional photo up on LinkedIn. But and that's, look, exactly, that's exactly what it is. So yeah, I'm on Twitter as well. I don't really post to Twitter, but yeah, look, the main ones are Instagram and Instagram and TikTok, I'd say. That's where you'll find me most, hanging out. So please, yeah, reach out to me. Any questions you might have if you're interested in any of the aforementioned, or if you just want to tell me how amazing I am from tonight's interview, go right ahead.
Oh, even Sylvie's like, Facebook is, yeah, Facebook, hilarious. And I just saw a comment from Sam Jr. He was asking when he's heard you sing American. Oh, Son's, he said he's heard you sing before, Amanda, and he was wondering when are you going to do a duo together?
Oh, whenever you want, 100%, whenever you want. I was actually singing a bit of Tina Arena yesterday. I love Tina Arena. Love her. Oh, yes. So I think she's amazing. But yeah, anytime you want to do a duet, let's do it. In the background,
guys, so if you haven't clicked, he's really excited. He's jumping for joy.
And he's got a beautiful voice.
Yeah, Sam has got a beautiful voice, and who knows, we might have a duo coming up very, very, very soon.
I'm in.
I'm in. Well, Amanda, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on. We've got one more question from William. Oi, you're a gorgeous human, Amanda. And your resilience is inspiring. And that is, couldn't have said any better myself. And I know, Amanda, you are loved by so many people and very well respected. And I think, you know what, sometimes what I've learned along the way is when people have something to say generally, and if it's negative or something positive, sometimes, you know, it's a reflection of themselves and not of you.
100%. Yeah, absolutely. And Jojo, I just want to say that I love you very much and thank you so much. I actually can't wait to finally get to meet you guys properly in person, and we're going to have so much fun up on the Goldie with our tans and our bikinis and cocktails.
I'm not going to be in a bikini next to you, but hey, I might reach out to you for some coaching because I really need some fitness. I need a bit of mindset work. I'm not going to lie, I've been, you know, through COVID, and I know you said we're all going through a lot of stuff right now, and it really has affected me. So it's been really, really tough for myself to bounce back myself. But, you know, I'm definitely going to have to get this beach body going if we're going to be at the beach together.
100%. 100%. I'm going to look at running some beach sessions. Like, no shit, I want it to be a thing up on the Goldie. I'm wanting to hopefully build a really nice community up there. Like, I want to get, you know, I want to get my business back up and running, like the face-to-face sessions, and you know, get people fit. Apparently everyone loves fitness up on the Gold Coast. So, you know what? I think I'm going to feel right at home there. But, yeah.
I think the sooner you get up here, Amanda, the better. Queensland is calling you. We are here for you, so you just know that no matter what. And honestly, from the bottom of my heart, I really hope, you know, we get to see you and we get to meet you personally. But look, thank you so much for joining me tonight. You're always a pleasure, and I forgot to say how beautiful you actually look. So, thank you for showing, you know, us what strength is required during these difficult times, and no matter what you go through, how you always can come out on top. So, I'm going to cheers to you, my darling, for being the beautiful human
darling
that you are. And I know you've got water in there, but I've got sparkling water.
All right, my love, I just wanted to say thank you so much to having me, and obviously to everyone who's jumped on and made the effort tonight. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, shoot me a DM. Make sure you leave your comments below and keep supporting the What Matters TV show. So always bringing on, left of field guests, something a little bit, what I like about you, Jojo, is you're not afraid to be a little bit controversial and talk about the things that might be uncomfortable at times, and I respect you for that. So keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you so much,
Pleasure.
beautiful. I really appreciate it. And you take care, beautiful. And thank you so much for joining us. We'll have to get you on again soon.
Anytime.
All right, my darling.
Anytime.
See ya.
All right.
Bye, doll. See ya.
Bye. See ya.
Oh, guys, well, what an amazing guest Amanda is. It's always a pleasure. I think since I came across her, since she first appeared on Maths, she really touched my heart, and following her journey and connecting with her ever since. And she's such a real person. And I think, when I saw her go through her bullying, it really hurt my heart. And it really touched me because, I've gotten to know her, and I know how genuine she is. And I think, when anyone is asking for help, you got to take your hat off to them to be able to ask for help. But guys, just please be mindful. Just be mindful with the things that you say to people. My mama always said to me, if you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say it at all. But send lots of love, and just be a good person. It's not hard to be a good person. But anyways, that's me this week without my beautiful wife. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time, guys. We'll be back every second week. For now, if you've got any guests or conversations that you want discussed, please let us know. But look, till then, take care. No matter where you are in the world, I'm sending you so much love. Have a wonderful week, and God bless you. Mwah. See you later, guys. Bye.
It's all about passion, it's all about change. It's all inclusive every day of the week.